Hey, happy day. And the man, he had been sick for quite a while, and his wife kept saying, go see a doctor. And finally he looked at her and said, I will when I'm feeling better. Hey, he's been a man a long time, don't you know? Governments, you know what? They're always screaming, we need more affordable housing. We need more apartment buildings. We need more this and that and everything else. And they kind of keep on. But they're their worst enemy unless it's a plan. Could be a plan, but you know what? There's rent control, there's tax charges, development permit costs, and many other government intrusions. People being builders have stood back and said, I can't afford to do this. I mean, people don't pay their rent in some jurisdictions. You can't even evict them. They stay there. They pay no rent for long periods of time. It's very painful. There's still good people out there, I get it, but they want, it's just hard. So is this planned? Did the government figure this out so they in fact can own all of the housing? Other countries have done that. Look to Russia, look to China. Affordable housing. Back away, governments, council members particularly, and let the free market work. It works. It really does work if you give it a chance. And this bureaucracy, and who can be a developer today anyway, or a builder? I mean, the costs, the infrastructure that's required, I mean, it's really off of the rails. Get things back together. And then you got Switzerland, they're saying, you know what? We're going to have to ban electric cars, possibly air conditioning and heaters as well, and maybe televisions, because the electric grid can't handle all of this. There's a message there. California and so many other places. I mean, fossil fuel is the best. Leave it alone. Okay, you're fixing something that ain't broken. Electric cars, good bloody grief. When they start doing that, you got a problem. Here is a model, a country model that other countries should look at, particularly the US of A with regards to its neighbor Mexico, to go in and maybe fix the problem at home. I get away from myself. Let's back up here to El Salvador. They have a gang problem. They had one day last March where they had 62. What's the difference between 2 and 9 when you're up that high? Murders in one day from gangs. These gangs are bad people. So finally the president there last year, the new guy, he said, I'm going to fix this. He heard there's a whole bunch of bad guys, gang guys in one town, one little city. He surrounded the city with 10,000 troops. And he told all the people that live there, you have nothing to fear. We're here for them. He's put over 58,000 gang members in prison since last March. Wow. And boom, he's knocking these guys down. And he's saying, we know where you are and we're going to come and get you. That's what the army is for. We're going to fight at home. And I'm ad-libbing here. Instead of going to other countries to help them, America, work with the government in Mexico and go into these towns where you know where they are and surrounded with 10,000 troops. And guess what? You're going to fix a drug problem at home. Now, here's a guy that I just want to read about a guy. His name is Derek Hunter. He's a host of a podcast, and he writes in some magazines and online places, and I really like his style. I've never met him, but I get a kick out of how he writes, and I wanted to share with you this last thing that I read. He says, I am glad that Twitter is not real life. What do I mean by that? I mean that was Twitter's real life, and if I were around those moronic leftists out there spewing their absolute bovine excrement, it's possible that I would be in prison. I wouldn't have killed anyone, but I certainly would have been very tempted to knock some teeth out. Leftists are disgusting, and I'm extremely happy that I'm nowhere near them. And what seems to be the highest concentration of these worthless piles of human flesh is NBC News. Search the name of any of the Trump kids on NBC's website, and you will find thousands of hits, none of which involve anything criminal, even close to a crime, but the son of Biden, he hardly shows up, and he's been smoking crack and doing all kinds of other supposedly bad things, and he's nowhere to be found. Any organization with the word news in it should either drop it or face a class action suit over false advertising. I got to agree with him, that guy. That's kind of good. Hey, y'all come back here tomorrow or the next day. Every 2 days, we try to have a live show for you. Show, like Ed Sullivan would say, so y'all come back.